Welcome back, everybody, to Sports Illustrated's Fan Nation Las Vegas Raiders Insider Podcast. I am your Raiders beat writer, Hondo Carpenter, joined by my assistant beat writer, Zeke Trezevant, the Z-Man. What's up, brother?
Hondo, my guy, how are you?
Now, I'm here in the D, and you're going to be joining me in the D. You're flying in to go to the game with me on Monday night.
Yes, sir.
Man, Zeke, I got to tell you, now, you know this. I like Josh. This isn't personal to me, but $102 million offense, and you go up and lay the egg against Chicago. This is not good at all. We both know they can win Monday night. They've got the talent. But man, what's going on, Zeke?
Yeah. So I completely agree with you. You hit it right on the head. An egg is exactly what that was. It's unfortunate. Last week when you and I spoke, I believe you said it, and you mentioned it. Hey, it was a possibility, but none of us really thought that it was actually going to happen, let alone it go that way. Disappointing all the way around. I mean, it was disappointing for me to watch it. I can only imagine how those guys feel or how they felt Sunday. But like they've been saying all this week, it's time to move on. They got to move on, but definitely some lessons to be learned from last week for sure.
Yeah, it's very fascinating to me. When you look at three quarterbacks and all three have struggled, that sits on coaching.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And you saw Josh, and let's give him credit. And I'm certainly not afraid to give him criticism, but let's give him credit for a minute.
Yeah.
Because when I asked him after the game on Sunday, if the process isn't working, do you stay the course, scrap the process, or change it? He said, "You're asking the right guy."
Yeah.
He's been stand up about it. He's not running from it. But they're you and I could sit here. I mean, I've got pages of notes, Zeke, pages of notes. You can't see it because of my green screen.
No,
But
but I can imagine. I know what your notes look like.
oh yeah, you've seen my notes. I've got pages and notes of player mistakes. So after I watched the film, I took 11 pages of notes. 11 of a legal pad. And but when you've got massive errors everywhere, you can't go anywhere else but coaching. If you're allowing it, you're coaching it the way Nick says.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the unfortunate part because they have talent at most of the spots on the offense and on the defense. They really have the talent across the board, and for some reason, it's just not clicking. But after 7 weeks of ups and downs, that some reason is 100% right. Like you said, it's coaching. And Josh has done a good job of taking it on the chin. But at the same time, at some point, it has to, you got to stop taking it on the chin and go perform on the field. So I feel for him. I've said it to you personally or privately. I feel for him. It's an unfortunate situation because as you have pointed out, as we have pointed out, players are open whenever he's calling plays on the offense. Defensively, they're putting the players in position. They did last week, and the players just didn't come through. So as much as it is coaching, it isn't coaching, but that all just means that it is coaching, right? If you can't get the players to consistently do what you need them to do, that's coaching.
100.
I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, you're
Yes, sir.
totally. By the way, I want you to know. So Zeke is teaching me and helping me
You can't make
grow
me
in my
laugh,
pop
Hondo.
culture. Huh?
So you can't make me laugh, man. But yes, I'm here to help you with as much pop culture as I can.
I have heard a new rapper that I like, and you know I'm getting into rap.
You got to tell me, Hondo. This can go so many different ways. Talk to me.
His name is Biggie, Biggie Small or Biggie Littles or something.
Biggie
Biggie.
Smalls. Biggie Smalls.
Yeah.
And so listen, who got you into Biggie Smalls? Like I'm curious as to how you make that jump.
Well, I heard this song. It goes Biggie, 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 something like that. And
Can't
and
you
I just
see?
what?
Is it Biggie, Biggie, Biggie? Can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
don't get
Okay, so
started,
I heard
Hondo.
Biggie, Biggie, Biggie. So I liked it. So I have this thing on my phone. It's really cool. I don't these phones, man, where if you hit a button,
Hmm?
it'll tell you the song.
Oh, really? Yeah. You have an app for it.
So that guy, that's his song, I think.
Oh yeah. That's Biggie. Listen, when we're riding to Ford Field on Monday, listen. We'll listen to some
I
more
just want to
Biggie.
listen to Biggie, Biggie, Biggie. But you know my favorite rap song of all time. I got two.
Which one?
Is "Shake Your Tail Feather" and "Apple Bottom Jeans, Boots with the
Hondo.
Fur."
This is news to me. Oh, the Flow Rider makes sense. You're definitely a Flow Rider kind of guy. That makes sense. That makes sense. But the one
And now I know
before,
his name is not Florida.
not Florida, Flow Rider,
Flo Rida, FLORIDA to everyone listening. Okay, anyway,
100%.
I don't know. We do this every week. We get into pop culture, and it's supposed to be about football. All right. Jim Irsay goes in and blasts the refs, the owner of the Colts. This guy's
Yes.
great entertainment.
Oh, 100%.
He's the. Uh, what was your take on that? Listen, the officiating in the NFL is horrible. Absolutely horrible. It's got to get repaired.
So I'm curious as to, I was actually going to ask you about this because he was very, very honest, and it was unusual for an owner to be that honest when talking about
Not
refereeing.
Irsay.
Exactly. Irsay's always going to speak his mind, but but he's in the small number in terms of who will criticize the NFL like that from the owner position. Have you ever seen anything like that before? I definitely saw what he said, heard what he said, but I hadn't recalled another time where an owner had just came out and just said that blatantly, that clearly after a game. But yes, I agree with him. The NFL has a issue in terms of officiating. But let's hope they figure it out. Let's hope they figure it out.
Will the Raiders trade Hunter Renfrow by Tuesday?
Yes. Where
You think
that
so?
I think so because at this point I think they're too.
All right, no,
I
wait. Let
mean,
me go back then. Will they be able to trade him without having to pay some of his cap hit in 2024?
no. My guess is no. And the reason I say that is because all the teams know that they know that the relationship is fractured, right? So that's a lot of leverage that the other teams will
Now,
use
wait a minute,
against
wait a
them.
minute, wait a minute, because I'm going to ask you something because your wordage there. I'm very familiar with management, know them well, know Josh,
Mm-hmm.
and I know Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
When you say the term fractured, people are going to instantly hear animus.
Yeah,
There's no animus between these
no,
people, but it's not working.
there you go. And that's all I mean by fracture, right? It's a again, there's no hard feelings between the two. I think it just both sides are very open, honest, and mature about where they stand with each other, and that's okay. I think that takes professionalism on both sides. But I think that's going to lead to them getting him somewhere that he feels comfortable, and I think that's what makes me say that he's going to be traded is because he's just simply not comfortable, and the longer he sits in that, and God forbid he sits in that past the trade deadline, it can only get worse, and especially if the season gets worse. Then it's like, hey, he had a chance to get out, you didn't get rid of him. I can only imagine how far that goes downhill. So I think that as professionals, they're going to find a way to get him somewhere else.
All right. Now, I want to go to another subject. I was doing a very large media company was interviewing me this week, and they asked me about Josh losing the locker room, and I said he hasn't. I think none of the players are out there wanting. Let me just say this: there are a couple players on the team that I know are not fans of Josh McDaniels, but they're not key players. They're not whatever. But the ones that I speak to, the ones who speak, the heart of the team, the guys in the middle of it, they've not. They're frustrated, but so is Josh. And they asked me, what will it take for Josh to lose the locker room? And I said, I don't know what it would take. But if you're judging effort, once a team gets eliminated from playoff contention, you always see effort of guys not signed long term change. Would you agree with that?
Yes, but I was going to ask you, in what way are you saying? Right? Because if you're not there long term, I can see it both ways, I guess is what I'm saying. If you're not there
Well,
long
my
term, hey,
point is, let's just use a Marcus Peters,
okay.
who I think is a very good cover corner and a horrible liability against the run.
Okay.
Do you expect maximum effort from Marcus Peters once that? And I'm only using him as an example.
As an example.
There's a bunch of players who don't have guaranteed contracts. But I mean, it's just going to be interesting to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, 100%. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what players give what effort, if and when. I don't want to say when that time comes, but if that time comes. But like I said, I can see it going either way, right? If they're not there long term, they can still want to put forth great effort to have that on film, right? Because as they say, the big eye in the sky doesn't lie. So you never want to be the player putting on or giving out bad effort after you're out of contention, because that says a lot about you as a player as well, no matter where you are in your career. So I see it both ways, but I could definitely see some players, not naming any players, but I can just see certain players in that situation saying, you know what, let's pack it in. But we'll see what kind of pride they have.
Let me ask you a question. By the way, what's the weather in Nevada today? Here in the D, it was pouring rain and 40 with a chance of snow
A chance of
predicted. Come not tonight, but coming up in a couple days, a chance of some snow. So
oh my goodness. Listen, I'm excited as someone who has spent a lot of time in the Midwest. That's actually my kind of weather. Fall is my favorite season in the Midwest. But in terms of Vegas, the weather here, I think it was about 70 today, 75 today. Wasn't too bad, on the cooler side of things for sure. So yeah, going to be a vast difference up in the D.
low 40s with rain. It was just nice.
Listen,
Nice.
that's a perfect Midwest fall day for sure.
Oh, I'd love to see some snow before I come back. All right. Anyways, Zeke, you've already predicted it. You said that you thought 31-14 Lions.
Yeah, I think and this is after last week, right? I don't want to say I'm disgruntled, but I'm a little discouraged after what I saw last week. And then even worse for the Raiders, the Lions are coming off a bad loss themselves. There's no sneaking up on them, right? If you wanted to catch them sleeping, it would have been the week before they played the Ravens. So I think this is all setting up for a bad a bad showing. Monday Night Football, first time in 5 years. Detroit's going to be excited. They're going to look. It's just not. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
I get it. It's uglier than me in the shower. That's why I shower with the lights off, man. Since
Yes, sir.
1988, just flip everyone else turns the lights on, I turn them off and jump in the shower.
Yes, sir. So yeah, it's
All
gonna,
right,
it's gonna be interesting for sure.
it will be. All right, Zeke Trezevant getting ready to catch a big old jet airliner. Look that song up. That's a great song.
Who's it by? I didn't hear you. That didn't ring a bell. I have a lot of songs up here. That didn't ring a bell. I'm sorry, Hondo.
I'm not even going to. I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear that.
Sing it. Okay, sing it.
Go
Sing it one more
look
time.
up the song "Big Old Jet Airliner."
I will. Now I gotta look it up right now.
What
I'm
am I
sorry.
going to do with you?
Big old jet. Big old jet. Oh wow, it pops like. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on.
Bow, 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 bow.
Hold on.
Zeke, what am I going to do with you?
Listen,
I'm going to
listen,
have
Hondo.
to teach you good music. Now, you're teaching me. So, by the way, I do want everyone to know I am learning
I've
that
never heard
some
that
of the
song before,
rap
Hondo.
songs. What?
I just brought it up on YouTube and listened to it for a couple seconds. I've never heard it before. So like I'm
Listen,
excited to go listen to it. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta go catch that one.
by the Steve Miller Band. Cannot
Yep.
believe you don't know that song. My faith in the American education system is
It's
all right.
sunk. It's gone
Anyways,
downhill.
I just want everyone to know I am learning that some of the rap songs that I listen to, that if you buy them as an album, they're not as clean as I listen to. So I am not endorsing. So if Mr. Smalls sings any music that's vulgar, I have not heard it.
Who Biggie? Nah.
Yeah.
No vulgar music comes from Biggie Smalls
Biggie,
ever.
Biggie, Biggie. That's all I know. That's the only word I know. Biggie, 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 Biggie,
Hey,
Biggie. I got my son
Biggie
Dexter. Biggie, Biggie, Biggie.
Biggie Smalls is as PG as they come.
Good. All right. Good. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Sports Illustrated's Fan Nation Las Vegas Raiders Insider podcast. I'm your beat writer, Hondo Carpenter. That guy right there is my assistant beat writer, part of the Fans First Sports Network. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great night.